Teaching plot structure. Plot is the literary element that describes the structure of a story. It is the foundation of a novel or story. It is the action that takes place. But it's not a random series of events. The plot follows a path where a problem arises, builds, and is resolved. This diagram is used to map the events in a story. It's used to visualize the key features of stories to analyze content. Exposition. The exposition is the starting point of a story. It can be called the initial incident because something has to happen to start a plot. It can also be called the introduction. The exposition should introduce characters, describe the setting, and establish the conflict. Rising action is the series of conflicts and crises in the story that lead to the climax. What happens to make the problem worse or more serious and complicated? Rising action is where suspense builds, consists of multiple steps, is where complications arise, is where the main characters are established. The climax of the story is the moment of highest tension. It is the turning point of the story, usually the most exciting part of the story, where the reader is left wondering what is going to happen next. How does the problem reach its worst point? What does the character do to make this a turning point? Following action is all of the action that follows the climax. The following action can be a series of events that identify how the solution to the problem is carried out. It is the result of the actions of the main characters, the winding up of the story, and when events and complications begin to resolve. The resolution is the conclusion of the story. It is the outcome. It is how things end up or turn out for the characters. It is the tying together of all the threads. It can also be called the conclusion or the denouement, which is a French word meaning unknotting, and in this case is the final part of a play, movie, or narrative in which the strands of the plot are drawn together and matters are explained or resolved. Sample and very simple plot outline. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. Exposition. As a baby, Harry Potter is placed with his Muggle family, the Dursleys, for his protection. He lives there for 10 years before finding out he is a wizard. Rising action. Harry receives his admissions letter to Hogwarts when he is 10 and meets Ron, Hermione, and Hagrid. He has conflict with Professor Snape. He discovers the Sorcerer's Stone being guarded by a three-headed dog. He must find the stone before Voldemort. Climax. Battle with Voldemort/Quirrell. Falling action. Dumbledore saves Harry, but Harry is in the hospital. Gryffindor House wins the House Championship Cup. The stone is destroyed. Resolution. Harry is established as a hero. He realizes he is pure of heart. He returns to London to spend the summer with his Muggle family, the Dursleys. To conclude, the plot is one of the most important parts of a story and has many different purposes. It focuses attention on the important characters and their roles in the story, motivates characters to impact the storyline, connects the events in an orderly manner, creates a desire for the reader to keep reading, reveals the entire story, giving the reader a sense of completion, helps the reader to understand the message being conveyed by the author.